Joining me today is Becka Rowland-Buckley, the Director of Workplace and Facilities Management Solutions at Serco. So thank you for joining me today, Becka. I appreciate you taking some time out of, I know, your busy schedule.
Thank you, Tracy. I'm really excited to be here and talk about one of my favorite subjects.
Well, speaking of your favorite subjects, everybody talks about Serco around Serco or maybe in certain sectors, but it's been called the biggest company that nobody's ever heard of, and nobody I know had heard of Serco. So, Becka, who is Serco?
A very good question, and one that was very, what do I want to say? It was on purpose, Tracy, because Serco was the company, and as the name implies, we're a services company, Serco Services Company. And we were there to make our customers shine. We were the behind the scenes people. So in all the work we do across the world that are as against essential services, like running hospitals and prisons and military installations and things like that, we were there to support the mission of the customer. And so we didn't tell people about who we were. We just made our customers look good. And by word of mouth, Serco grew and grew. But now that we are more of a global presence and we're growing all the time, it's important that our name gets out there. And so now we're putting on a full court press to get our name out. And when you ask about what Serco does, across the globe, we are, as I said, running the largest hospital in the world, Fiona Stanley in Australia. And also in Australia, we have prisons and immigrant detention centers. And we bought a facilities management company there to help us grow in that ASPAC space that we're in. In our other regions, we have military installations. We retrofit naval ships with the latest technology. We provide case management for healthcare. We run air navigation services for the US. We're doing driver examination services in Canada. We have a range of services that we provide, but they're all essential services. And the crowning point on all of that is that the services we provide are world-class. We're known for the services we provide. So Tracy, does that help you understand it?
That does. That's really a huge company in the background, and it's very diversified. And I think what I really heard is it really makes a difference in people's lives. It makes a difference in national security. Those are really key elements. It's really good to hear.
Yes.
So, your team, the Workplace and Facilities Management Solutions team, is specializing in IBM TRIRIGA and IBM Maximo and related technologies. Tell me more about your team.
Well, it's a team of just over 100, and that's Circo employees and some subcontractors as well for some of the work that we're doing. And it is a highly skilled group of intellectually curious people who have a solid work ethic, who are truly devoted to what they're doing. Because as we know, IBM TRIRIGA and Maximo are niche areas in the facilities management world. And you really have to know those technologies in order to be good at what you do and to be able to guide your customers in the things that they need to do to make sure that they're getting the most value out of the applications that they can. So it's amazing what this team does on a day-to-day basis. So do you want to know more about that?
Sure, I'd love to hear a little more about it, actually. And because I believe you have some really interesting use cases.
We do. We have let me tell you, and what makes those use cases, how do we get to the interesting use cases, is through commitment, dedication, customer focus, and more importantly, each member of this team is focused on helping each other reach their full potential. So it is an exciting, very communicative team, even though they're spread across 22 of our 50 United States. And the things that make them super special is the fact that we have no B team. Many others come in and they sell a product, but then they don't have the same people that sold the product to the client come in and then actually deliver what's there, what they're supposed to be delivering. So we have no B team. We have 440 years of combined TRIRIGA experience on the team. That means about 12 years per person. And nobody has less than 5 years of experience implementing TRIRIGA. We also have over 100 years of experience, of past performance experience with Maximo. And we have the distinction of being the implementers for the largest TRIRIGA implementation in the world, and that is the US Air Force. We have 66,000 users of that system, 198 Air Force bases across the world. So it shows you that TRIRIGA scales nicely. And we are also implementing or have implemented over 4 billion square feet of space into TRIRIGA. And we are tracking, in one instance, over $1 trillion of assets at this time. So it is impressive, the work that we've done and the ability for this team to function so well that we can do that seamlessly while getting rave reviews from every one of our customers. So every single customer is referenceable. And in the case of the Air Force, where we actually receive a grade card, we have gotten exceptional ratings every year that we've been the prime on that contract. So it really says a lot about the quality of the work we do and the quality of the team that does the work.
Well, I think, and we talk about the phenomenal skill set that exists at Circo around TRIRIGA and Maximo, there are other skill sets at play too, I'm sure, behind the scenes.
That's right, there are. And especially when you're looking at the fact that we're taking many of our clients to the cloud, that is the future. And so we have cloud specialists, we have DBAs, we have testers that are there. We have people that keep master schedules for us so that we're sure that we're on time, within the budget for every one of our clients. So yes, there's a whole group of people. So it's not just TRIRIGA and Maximo, but it's all the supporting technology around that. So not only are we staying on top of what the facilities management world is doing, but we're also staying on top of the underlying technologies that are going to push our clients further in what they need to do for their facilities in this case, and looking into the future. That's our job, is to keep our customers, our clients, smart about where the industry is going and how we can utilize those technologies to push them further.
So that's really good. And I think also, I believe, of course, Serco is a gold IBM partner, and I assume you have a good working relationship with IBM.
We do. We have an excellent working relationship with IBM, and that's evidenced by the fact that we are we host the TRIRIGA government user group. So across all levels of government, state and local, federal, DoD, we have that user group so that we can help them communicate with each other, because we find that our customers, when they talk to each other, they learn a lot about lessons learned, and it's not coming from someone who wants to sell it to them. It's talking about real life examples of the end user that has that technology, what they're doing with it and how they're using it. And it gives everybody ideas on how to use it better. So that's right. And we work very closely with IBM in helping them understand what the roadmap should look like. Where do they need to improve the product? What's changing with it? And we've seen great strides in both TRIRIGA and Maximo and how they are meeting the demands that we're seeing now because of COVID and other market drivers.
So that brings me kind of to a question about an internal initiative called Circo Edge. Tell me a little bit about what Circo Edge is and what benefit it brings. What is it for Circo?
Sure. Boy, that's a big deal for us. Circo Edge, and please don't let the name confuse you at all, because what Circo Edge is, it's a technology stack. And the two major components in that implementation solution, so the technology stack and the way we implement, and those two components are TRIRIGA and Maximo. And then it has our own IP wrapped around it with data analytics and reporting and some other things that make it a unique product to Circo. And organizations then can use that power of those two world-class software. And if you look on any Gartner, Forrester, Verdantix report, you're going to see IBM up in the upper right-hand corner in each one of those for not only integrated workplace management systems, but also computerized maintenance management systems. So TRIRIGA and Maximo. And putting those together, we've been able to integrate the two of them to make a formidable product for our clients. And putting those together and then negotiating a price with IBM that makes them very competitive. It gives our customers, clients, an edge. And so therefore Circo Edge. But it is the technology stack, which comprises Maximo and TRIRIGA. And it allows our customers to find valuable insights, plan for future investment, better manage their facilities, be able to predict the future so we're prepared for it before it gets here. So does that answer your question, Tracy?
That's very helpful. That's very helpful and very interesting, because I think it's something that others have talked about or done in a limited fashion, but perhaps Circo's approach is a little unique.
We believe it is.
So what types of organizations are typical customers for your team?
Well, that's also a good question, because any organization that has facilities and assets, anybody that depends on those for the mission critical assets, mission critical facilities, and they need to know how to use their scarce funds, because it's just a fact of life. If we had all the money in the world, that'd be great, but nobody does. So how do you plan and budget for the things that are going to take you further than you are today and that are critical for your organization? So how to run your facilities more efficiently, how to provide a workspace for those people that are coming back to work, a healthy and safe workspace, so that you can give them an experience when they do come into the office that is conducive to getting their work done. And then how do you extend the useful life of your assets? Which assets are critical that you need to pay more attention to, and which ones are not so critical? What parts do you need to have on hand? How do you look at what would happen and plan for a failure of any of that critical equipment? And it begins to allow that organization, so that organization that has assets and facilities, how do they begin to plan better when they look out at what their needs are going to be, not only this year, but next year and the next year? Who knew COVID was going to come along? But right now, the focus is truly on safe workplaces.
So what differentiates Circo as a company from other competitors? Because we talk about things that Circo does. It's a huge variety of services it provides globally, and there's a few others out there that do, but what are your competitive advantage, if you will, or what are things that are reasons a company should trust Circo, not just your team, but Circo in general?
Sure. I think that the stability of the company, we've been around a long time, and we have excellent track record when you look across the globe. The newest area that we've gotten into is here in North America. So we are backed by a very strong, foundationally strong company We have great resources. We have, and the manpower that we bring in is world class. That's all I can say. It's just world class. And we're well supported by this company. They understand the value that we bring to Serco. And because across the world, Tracy, I think that's one of the biggest things is across the globe, we are the people providing the services that here in North America, we're running the technology that enables those folks to do their work better. And we're doing that for our North American customers. So we have a lot of lessons learned that we have in there. But I also think that our services ethos shines through very brightly in the work that we do. That trust, care, innovation, and pride in what we do is foundational to not only the company, but to this practice, this workplace and facilities management solutions practice.
It's interesting. It sounds like Serco and obviously your team have done very well and are very focused. So kind of one last question. What does the future hold? Where do you see your team in general, or in specifically your team, headed with so much going on in the world?
Well, boy, isn't that the truth? There is so much going on in the world right now, and we're constantly learning and growing as a team. And I think our UX apps have been a great enabler for our customers, clients, in the fact that they make the user experience even easier for our clients. We also reporting, getting the information out of the system that you put it in a way that you can consume it, to do data analytics on it, which has been, oh my goodness, it opens your eyes to the way you can use your facilities better. IoT technologies, we're seeing that in everyday lives. My thermostat at home, when I leave, it knows when I'm 150 yards away from the house and it turns itself down. It's amazing things that we don't even think, I don't even think about it anymore, but it allows us to use that technology so that we don't have to think about it and we can use the brain power on other things. I also see that the ability to predict the future better by looking at the way we use our assets and our facilities so that we can maybe be more prepared the next time something like COVID comes along, that we're not caught flat-footed, that we can ensure that our mission critical assets are working at peak performance. I think the last thing I would say too, Tracy, is that I see that an area that we're very focused on is sustainability, and bringing that not only to our work lives, but into our home lives as well, and ensuring that this planet of ours is not only safe for us, but for our kids and our grandkids. I want to leave a legacy, and part of that is being more sustainable in what we do and helping our clients as well reach that sustainability where we protect our planet.
That is a great objective. I think, as you know, I'm definitely a sustainability advocate myself, and it's good to hear that there's such an emphasis and thought around that. So Becka, I really appreciate your time today. I can't thank you enough, and very informative, very interesting to learn more about Circo and its diversity, but also the strength of Circo's TRIRIGA, Maximo team, and of course the product edge. So thank you very much, and good luck with the future. 2022 is coming really fast.
Thank you, Tracy. I've really enjoyed it.